Hello, DJ at Fitness in Motion. I've been professional personal training for almost 25 years. During that time, the most common condition I've trained clients through is lower back pain. So I want to show you some tips and techniques on how to heal your low back and keep that pain away forever. Now, before I start, subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell so you get our future videos. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. If you have low back pain or injury of any kind, consult your physician and make sure that the information I'm giving you is consistent with healing your particular situation. That being said, here we go. First thing I want to tell you, the most common cause of chronic low back pain, it sounds harsh, I'm going to say it anyway, lose some body fat. Okay, I didn't say lose weight, I'm saying lose some body fat. Body fat, specifically the fat that we collect in our midsection, in our belly, is one of the most common reasons why we have chronic lower back pain. I'm not saying it causes an injury. I'm saying if you have an injury, if you're prone to low back, having excess body fat is one of the worst things we can do, and it's one of the quickest ways to bring that pain back again. So if you think of your spine, from a side standpoint, you think of your spine, everything in front, your spine's at the very back of your body. Everything that's in front is pulling on your spine. Your spine is responsible for keeping your upper body erect, and everything in front is pulling away from that natural position. So the more body fat we have specifically in our belly, in our abdomen region, the more it's pulling directly on our lower back. So if we had a little bit less body fat here, we would have less pressure pulling us forward and less problems in the low back. Our lower back is working overtime all the time when we have this excess body fat. So number one, lose some body fat because that's where our body fat tends to collect. Number two, the second culprit for lower back pain is our posture. It's our positioning. So when we're seated at our desk or when we're eating, how upright are we? How is the health of our spine in this position? Probably not very good. We're probably sitting forward, typing. We're probably sitting forward, watching television. Or we're sitting forward, eating food. And when we're in that position, our lower back is being pulled forward. And what's worse is when we're seated, our hips are locked in place, and then we lean forward. So we're really putting extra pressure. At least if I'm standing up and I lean forward, I've got this position. Or even here, I'm rounding. But if I'm seated, I'm pulling my low back down and then I'm going forward, it's even worse. It's one of the worst things. That's why I say sitting is the new smoking. What they mean by that is your hips are locked under, you're pulling your low back in, and then from that position, you hang forward like this. You're forward when you're eating or on the phone or on your computer or on these Zoom calls nowadays where we're just hanging forward. It's one of the worst things, second worst thing we can do other than having the excess body fat that's there all the time is our posture. So a trick, get against a wall. Imagine there's a wall behind me. Get your shoulders against the wall, get your heels against the wall, get your backside against the wall, and get your head against the wall. So shoulders, heels, backside, and head. And stand here for 30 seconds. It's going to feel like we're leaning back because we're so used to being somewhere forward of an upright position all of the time. So sit tall, shoulders, heels, glutes, and head. Hold it for 30 seconds. Pull your body in this position. Get your spinal alignment. And then once you've held it for 30 seconds, take a step forward and try to maintain that position. The more you do this, you're training your body to stay in a more upright, erect position that your spine is going to thank you. So culprit number one, excess body fat. Culprit number two, our position, whether that's seated, standing, anytime. Shoulders back, head back, don't be here, pull yourself upright. Get the pressure away from your spine. Support your spine. Right here, it's gonna make a huge difference and hold that position. And when you walk away from the wall, try to maintain that position as best you can. Addition to those two, number three is getting into exercise. Okay, how is your spinal flexion? How is your spinal flexibility? Are you taking time to lean back and hyperextend? And I don't mean anything dynamic. I just mean knowing that we are holding body fat here and our position, our posture is off, the more we can hyperextend leaning back throughout the day, we're going to alleviate pressure. So what I would recommend is 5 times per day. Associate it with something you do with frequency like food, or every time you get up from a seated position. Put your hands on your hips, put your thumbs behind you, and lean back. Stretch it back and hold it for about 10 seconds. And just let your spine relax into its natural position. What we're trying to do is counter that forward position that we're always in, that poor posture position that we're always in. So lean back, stretch back 10 seconds, 5 times per day. Associate it with something you do with frequency. Every time I stand up, when I get out of my chair, I'm gonna just lean back. Or every time I eat food, before I eat, I'm just gonna stand up and lean back. 10 seconds, that's all you need. Those 3 activities are gonna help you with spinal alignment, getting rid of body fat, specifically in the midsection, correcting your posture, seated or standing, and working in a hyperextended motion. The 4th technique is abdominal strength. The stronger our abs are, the more, when we say the word core, it used to be abs, 6-pack abs, and now the common buzzword is core. And I like that so much more because we understand the core is all around. It's the whole powerhouse. If you've taken any Pilates, they call this the powerhouse or the trunk of your body. So recognizing that it goes all the way around, our abdominal strength, I don't mean how cut you are, how much you can see your abs, another video on 6-pack abs, how strong your abdominals are is going to assist your low back because they have a synergistic relationship. When one is squeezing, one is stretching, and they go vice versa, okay? They are a complementary relationship. So the stronger our abs are, the more we're going to assist our back. So doing abdominal activities to strengthen the front of our core is going to alleviate pressure in the back of our core, the low back. If you have back issues and abdominal activities, i.e. crunches or so forth, are painful, try something static like a plank where there's no flexion or movement in your lower back. If that's causing you a problem, try planks. But you want to get your core strong. So we've got getting rid of body fat to alleviate pressure, correcting our posture, seated or standing, corrective action with hyperextension, and abdominal strength. The 5th activity, oftentimes gym-related, is getting flexion in your erector spina, your spinal erectors. That's the muscles that go along your spine in your low back. And the stronger those are, again, the less susceptible we are to throwing our back out. As people say, oh, my back went out. So the stronger those muscles are, the less pressure we're gonna have in our back. So low back hyperextensions, where we're coming up to an upright position, not hyperextending like we do with the stretch, because now we're fighting against gravity, but a low back extension, doing glute rear leg raises. I'm too close to the machine here. If I back away, holding on to something to keep an upright position and coming back until I feel a glute squeeze and leaning against it is going to also bring my low back into it. And doing slow repetitions, nothing too dynamic. I'm not kicking fast. I'm moving slow. It's a small, subtle motion, but by leaning back, I counter squeeze and get my low back tremendously engaged. Hyperextensions and rear leg raises on both legs. I will say 30 reps, but obviously it's something you'll probably want to work up to. But just going until you feel a good contraction in the back, not to where you're spasming. And again, if the movement hurts your back, hold off on the activities until we do the first 3 things to correct our positioning before we get into the exercises to strengthen it and keep it away forever. You follow those 5 tips, you're gonna find your lower back is gonna feel a whole lot better. Your movement is gonna be a lot freer. You're not gonna be so apprehensive when you reach down to pick something up off the ground or whatever your activities that were restricting beforehand, you'll find that you don't even think about it. It's what we call a non-issue. When you don't have to think or negotiate about the move, you just do it, that's when your back's healed. So follow those 5 tips and your back is going to thank you and you're gonna feel a lot healthier, you're gonna have a lot more mobility, and it's gonna improve everything you do, from walking to playing golf or whatever your exercises are, or just leaning forward to tie your shoes. These should not be problems that you have to negotiate or navigate. So follow those 5 steps for a strong, healthy back. I hope this helps. Subscribe to our channel. Thanks for listening.